Jill, may I?
Yes, be my guest.
Thank you. Jill, I hear that the post of assistant personnel manager is becoming vacant, and I wondered what the form was. Does one make a formal application, or do we just wait for the people upstairs to decide?
Oh, it's not by application, I know that. You just have to wait and it'll be decided.
Well, if you could perhaps drop a word in Mr. Robinson's ear.
I bet you're Aries. Aries the ram.
No, actually, I'm Aquarius, the water carrier.
Oh, yes, of course. I can see it now. I can see you're not a ram.
Never gets a chance, dear. You're wasting your time there, darling.
The charm of the man.
What are you, Mr. Corbett? Now, don't tell me.
Well, what do you mean? You know what I am?
Yes, true.
Shut up.
Wait a minute, you're Scorpio.
No.
No, of course you're not Scorpio.
No.
Not Scorpio?
Not Scorpio.
Well, what are you?
I'm Pisces, the fish.
Oh, you don't look like Pisces. Pisces the fish.
More like a sardine.
Oh, the charm of the man, really. What is all this nonsense about, anyway?
Oh, it's not nonsense.
Oh, it is, Jill. Come on, you didn't know what I was, did you?
Well, you're not typical.
You're a sardine.
Here we are, Pisces the fish. A day for taking the bull by the horns. Trust your own judgment.
Oh, that's me, all right. Very sound advice. What's he, then? Porcus the pig?
Oh. There isn't one.
There is now. Porcus the pig. Let's see. Oh, yes, here we are. Porcus the pig. Beware of small men with glasses. They might duff you up. You're fairly typical. He's a fairly typical porcus, really, if you look at him, you know, in a certain kind of light. You're a fairly typical porcus. Mean little eyes and long nose for rooting about the dirt. No, nothing personal, Cyril. You know, nothing personal. But it is a bit silly, all this, isn't it? I mean, no sensible person would believe in all that nonsense.
Oh, I believe in it.
Do you?
Oh, I remember my old grandmother going to a fortune teller who told her she was going to lose someone near and dear. And the very same year my grandpa died.
Really? How old was he?
87.
Say no more. Fantastic, fantastic. Well, do you know, it's funny you should say that, because 12 years ago, I went to see a clairvoyant, and she told me that in 12 years' time, I'd be sitting in a canteen, drinking tea and talking rubbish. And here we are. Does make you feel humble, really, and small and unimportant, doesn't it, really? Oh, there's old Jerry Pearson. I've got to see him about something to do with Petticat.
Take no notice of him, Jill.
I don't. Tea?
Thanks. So I don't apply. We just wait for the selection. Remember, if you could drop a word.
Well, I can't promise anything.
Well, what was all that about? What were you chatting to Jill about, eh? Why is she gone?
Oh, because you upset her, I imagine.
No, it's just that lover boy Barclay's at the counter, that's all. But I didn't upset her, did I, really? No, I mean, it is nonsense, isn't it, sir, when you think about it, you know? What were you talking about, then?
Just astrology.
I heard the words apply and selection, I thought.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What are you up to, Cyril?
I promise you, I'm not up to anything.
That clinches it. You don't kid me. I know what's going on up there.
Do you?
Yes. No tea for me, thank you, Joe.
Oh, that's all right. We didn't get you one.
Oh, of course, of course. Of course you didn't. You would know I didn't want tea. The stars would have told you.
Oh, shut up.
What's all this then? You two having a fight?
No, I'm just ribbing Jill, you know, Jilly, about this astrology business. Well, it is all nonsense, isn't it?
Well, it's a bit of fun. I don't think there's anything in it, though. You don't take it seriously, do you, Jill?
Yes, I do.
Oh, it's silly. It's all silly nonsense, Jill, you know.
Oh, you should hear Mr. Robinson going on about it. Gets quite heated. Can't stand it.
He doesn't.
No. He's always saying what rubbish it is, isn't he, Jill?
What? Oh, yes, he absolutely hates
Well,
it.
of course.
I thought he was rather keen.
Yes. Hates it.
Well, there you are, you see.
It's an obsession with him.
Yes, he hates astrology.
Well, I don't blame him. It is, after all, mumbo-jumbo, isn't it, really? I mean, if there's anything in it, we'd all believe in it. There's no proof, no sort of concrete evidence. You know, nobody with any education at all believes in that sort of nonsense.
Oh, thank you very much.
Well, I'm sorry, Jill, but it is true, honestly, you know. I mean, these days, in this day and age, how can one possibly place any sort of faith to any extent in something which is quite so illogical?
Go on, Mr. Baggeridge. Question of belief. Diddle-diddle, pom-pom. On my left, the Bishop of Woolwich. Welcome, John. And here we have Dr. Ronnie Corbett, Professor of Municipal Theology at 16 Princess Drive off the Bainsbridge Road.
Oh, that was very good. Very good, that. He does a wonderful Eddie Waring, you know. He's wonderful. Oh, I like that. Do Eddie Waring. Well, you know, Hull Kingston Rovers and Wakefield Trinity. What did he do? I can't do it, but he won't do it too bad. He's a bit shy.
Do you think Ronnie's a humanist?
I shouldn't even think he knows what that word means.
I know what it means, mate.
What?
What?
Well, tell us what humanist means.
Humanist? Humanist is a man or a woman who believes in human beings.
Is it really?
I'm not finished yet, and they have sort of certain values. I mean, they don't believe in God as such, you know. But apart from that, they're like us, C of E, Church of England.
I'm not. I'm an agnostic. You're Church of England, are you?
Well, I suppose so, yes.
You go to church.
But I have. I mean, I don't sort of go a lot, you know. I mean, I believe you can worship at home, can't you?
Worship at home?
It's not funny, Cyril.
You mean you pray?
Well,
How can you believe in anything like that? There's not a scrap of evidence.
Like you said about astrology.
Well, at least this is in the history books, mate. It's in the history books.
What history books?
Well, I don't know what history books. I haven't read them all. That is not the point. That is not the point we're arguing about. I never said I was C of E as such.
You did?
Only in as much as we're all C of E. I'm not a fanatic about it. To some extent, I'm an agnostic. A humanist agnostic veering towards C of E.
That's it in a nutshell, then. You're a fervent and non-practicing humanist agnostic. A bit C of E round the edges.
Look, don't have a go at me, you lot. Don't start having a go at me because I refuse to be dogmatic about it. I just have not made up my mind. Good God, it's 10-2.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
He's an open book, isn't he? He's absolutely open book. I expect he's rushing off to see Mr. Robinson about that job.
Yes, he probably is.
He must think I'm a mug. Good gracious, surprise, surprise. Is Cyril Dawson emerging from Mr. Robinson's office? No, it is. Cyril, you haven't been in to see Mr. Robinson about anything to do with the application for assistant personnel manager, have you?
No, I haven't. I've just been in with the accounts.
Oh, of course, it's Tuesday, yes, of course.
Ronnie, I have been in with the accounts, and you don't apply for that job, Jill told me.
Of course she did.
And all that business earlier about astrology, it was all a joke. I know it sounds odd, but Robinson is very keen on astrology.
Of course he is.
He is. I know you never dreamed he would be, but he is. I'm telling you the truth.
Of course you are, Cyril, indeed, yes. Well, I'm just going in to see Mr. Robinson about my accounts because it's Tuesday.
Mars in Aries, opposition Uranus. Bad day for work, beware small annoyances. I knew I shouldn't come in this morning.
Sir, you are the person best qualified. I wonder if you could tell me what direction my future might lie in and what my prospects are likely to be.
Corbett, are you asking me about your job, or do you want your fortune told?
That'll be the day. No, funnily enough, we were all discussing this in the canteen this morning, you know, astrology and all that rubbish, and we came to the conclusion that any sane, normal person would not believe for a minute in all that claptrap. Astrology.
Oh, so that's your attitude, is
Yes,
it?
it is. But I'd like to cast that aside. What I've really come in to see you about is I would wish to apply for the job of assistant personnel manager, sir.
Bloody hell, that ball.
What?
Well, you come in here, you have the effrontery to ask for a job which you know full well is not open to personal application, and then you pour scorn on something you know absolutely nothing about. What do you believe in, for instance?
Well, I suppose C of E more than anything else.
CV, don't start me on that, you wretched little man.
What? No, I didn't.
Oh, yes, you did.
No, I did. No, I may have seemed to. Bloody Dawson.
What, Dawson?
Well, sir, he told me not to come in and apply for the job, and he also told me that you were interested in astrology.
Well?
He told the truth.
Get out.
Yes, sir. If you'd seen your face, sir, when I brought up astrology, it was a picture, all for a joke, really. And then when I mentioned the assistant personnel manager's job, it was wonderful. Isn't it lovely we can have a little joke between friends? What would life be without a giggle or two now and again? It was in the stars, Porcus. Good evening.
You must be Laura's husband. Pleased to meet you, Ronnie. I'm Trevor Galbraith.
Are you?
Sorry you caught me just as I was leaving, but I really must, Ash.
Must you?
You might tell Laura that I'll be popping in tomorrow and we can all have a bit of a chat.
Can we?
I always find that if I can get the wife interested, I never have any trouble with the husband.
Oh, dear.
Well, probably see you tomorrow.
You're a bloody cool customer, aren't you?
That's enough.
That's
it really
marvellous.
was very nice
Thank
of
you
you.
so much.
We'll see you tomorrow then.
Can't be happening under my nose, can it? Surely. I mean, I've read about it in books and things, but surely it can't happen to me, can it? It could, of course it could. It could.
Hello, love.
Love, yes, love. Has he been round here before?
No, he just called this afternoon.
Just walks along the street, picks a door and knocks on it, I suppose, doesn't he?
Well, I suppose so, yes.
Laura, I'm broad-minded. God knows I'm broad-minded, but, I mean, I hope we can be frank about... Can we be frank about... can we be frank?
Well, yes, dear.
Well, I mean, did he, you know, in any way, did you,
What are you talking about?
Bloody Galbraith, dear.
Didn't you like him?
Like him? Like him? What am I supposed to do? Shake him by the hand and say, nice to see you, the wife's upstairs, I'll make you both a cup of tea? Good grief. It's a bit strong, dear,
Well, the
really.
new vicar comes round for a chat and you think he's making a pass? What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with me? That's the new vicar, did you say?
Yes.
Oh, come off it. The new vicar, is he?
Yes. Did you really think that I would...
Well, no, I didn't. Well, I did think a bit, yes, but I mean, not fully, of course. I mean, I'm not as stupidly jealous as that, Laura. I mean, you know. I mean, why didn't you tell me it was the new vicar?
I told you he was coming this morning,
You
dear.
did not, I'm afraid. Oh, God, you did. You did, of course you... Well, it's a bit much, that's all I can say. Vicars going about without dog collars. You don't know where you are, do you?
He doesn't believe in that sort of thing.
I've discovered that Mr. Robinson is dabbling in the occult. Jill is telling fortunes. You've seen the light over digestive biscuits. And Cyril Dawson is telling the truth. I think it's the end of the world.
Don't be daft, dear. Look, and when Trevor comes round tomorrow, I don't want any of your silly nonsense.
What do you mean, my silly nonsense? Oh, I'm not going to be left out of this, dear. I've seen the light, too, you know. From now on, I'm going to be a Jehovah's Mormon.
That's the sort of thing I meant.
Yes, he's got his work cut out with me, dear. I shall probably sacrifice a goat in the fireplace. Then I shall sacrifice Cyril Dawson to appease the rain gods.
Jill, bring me a cup of coffee in my office, will you please?
Pisces, some special reward that is to come to you in the future. Pisces, to be discussed today. You are in line for some sort of promotion.
Feeling better today, Corbett?
Oh, sorry, sir. Yes, sorry. Yes, I am, sir. I'm just sort of reading my horoscope.
You don't believe in that rubbish?
No, it's absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish. No, I was only reading it really for a laugh. It's
nonsense.
real astrology, sir. Real astrology I'm interested in.
Well, that nonsense has nothing to do with real astrology, you know.
I know, sir. You're quite right. Real astrology is what I'm interested in.
Well, if you're genuinely interested, Corbett, perhaps we could have a chat about it
Well,
sometime.
I'd love to, sir. I'd love to. Thank you very much indeed.
Oh, about that dress that I'm supposed to pick up from you.
Oh, yes, your wife's dress. Laura has finished it.
I was wondering if I could come along tonight and pick it up then on my way home, if that's all right.
By all means, sir. Our pleasure. Join us for a drink. Perhaps we could have a little chat then about astrology. I look forward to that.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
Ronnie, you're working hard, aren't you? Taking up astrology to soft-soap your way to assistant personnel manager.
Not at all, Cyril. I am interested in things. I have not got a closed mind. To be aware is to be alive, don't you understand? This is serious, Cyril. Who am I to say there is nothing of value or apt in the subject of astrology?
Thank you, Dr. Corbett. Norman St. John Stevens, any thoughts?
Look, Cyril, this is serious. You're always the same, you see. Self, always scheming. We are not in competition, Cyril. Grow up.
Listen, who's talking? Do my ears deceive me? Somebody who yesterday upset a fire bucket over my head is telling me to grow up?
Yes, I am, Porcus. And if you come round tonight and stick your snout in, I shall forgive you.
He's a nutter.
Hello, dear.
Very nice.
Had a good day?
Yes, very nice, thank you very much, yes. By the way, Mr. Robertson's coming round for the dress, Is it ready yet?
Well, I've let it out as far as I can, but I can't do anything about the stain. I don't know what it is. Or perhaps it's an understain.
An understain? What's that?
Well, you know, it's like on that commercial. Understain, perspiration, gravy.
Gravy, understain.
Oh, never mind. Forget it, dear. Forget it. Well, I've got some tea. We just have time before the vicar comes.
Oh, yes, Trevor.
Now?
No, I'm looking forward to seeing her, I must say, a little chat. I'm very interested in things, Laura. I have not got a closed mind.
No, dear.
No. You see, I have been thinking about this quite a lot, and I've come to the conclusion that anyone who believes firmly that his convictions are right is wrong. I mean, obviously there is, for example, yourself and Trevor, who are ardent C of E. There is Robinson with his planets and Dawson with his money, but I mean, it can't be all of it here. How can it be? How can it be?
You've been to the pub.
Just because I am being more perceptive, dear, and talking about deeper things does not mean I have been drinking. I know when I am drunk, I tend to be perceptive and talk about deep things, but that is when I am drunk. As a matter of fact, I could do with a drink.
That'll be Trevor.
Oh, good. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing him, I must admit. I do like him, I like the way he doesn't sort of dress up and things, it's nice.
Thank you.
Oh, hello, Trevor.
Hello.
Trev the Rev. Well, how are you?
Very well.
I'm sorry about the other night, by the way. I must have seemed a little bit odd, but, sorry. Well, how are you?
Very well.
Drink, dear.
What? What would you like to drink?
Oh, well, a sherry if you've got one.
By all means, certainly, yes. Lovely. Like to see it. How are you?
Still very well.
Well, you caught us at a good moment. We were just discussing religion.
Oh, well, I'm off duty, as it were. I'm not here to brainwash anybody.
Quite right. Wish there were more like you. Excellent. Trev. I've always been rather fascinated. I'm going to be absolutely frank with you on this. Let us try and get down to brass tacks if one can. I've always been absolutely fascinated. I mean, you could be working. Well, I don't mean that. I mean, you have devoted your whole life, well, not your life, but I mean, I have always felt that to live is to be aware.
Oh, I agree.
Oh, I see. Laura, any further points you'd like to bring up?
Well, I suppose I've always been Church of England.
What is Church of England?
Exactly. What is Church of England? No offence, of course.
No, this is just my point. I believe in Christianity. Apart from that, any form of man-inspired dogma is superfluous. Not to say anti-Christian.
My thoughts exactly, my very words earlier. I might be listening to myself. Yes, I agree with you all the way. You see, there is absolutely, when one thinks of it, no real point in going to church.
That depends on why you go to church.
That's what I mean. We are agreeing all the way, Trev. We are agreeing. I mean, take myself. Now, I am an agnostic. I am a humanist agnostic. On the other hand, I don't poo-poo atheism, Buddhism, or any other ism. Now, let us take astrology, for example. Could anyone say astrology is wrong?
I could.
Could you? Well, goodness me, there is enough evidence to support astrology as there is to support your game, mate.
Oh, come on now. You're talking about a lot of unsubstantiated nonsense posing as science.
Exactly my words earlier on in the morning, dear.
No, there's one thing that makes me really angry. If there's anyone...
Oh, Christ. Oh, God, I said, oh, Christ. That's Mr. Robertson, dear, for his dress.
Well, let him in. I'll go and get the dress.
Well, he's going to come in and talk about astrology, dear.
Well, why should he?
Because I told him to. Keep him off the subject. That is the dress man. The man from the dress shop. He won't be staying long. He's terribly nice. He's very interesting. He talks about a lot of things. Live and let live. To live is to be aware. Takes all sorts to make a world, doesn't it? Excuse me a minute, Trev.
The dress.
Mr. Robson, good evening, Gordon. I'm sorry you're not going to be able to stay longer, but,
I'm not in any hurry.
Oh, only we've got this friend who's the new vet. He's a vet, and he's very, very interesting vet, but a little bit odd. He talks rather a lot, but to live is to be aware, isn't it?
Well, perhaps we'd better leave our talk until a little later, shall we?
Oh, no, sir, by all means. Well, perhaps that would be a better idea than why I said no, sir. Really, wonderful idea. I should have jumped at it, and indeed I'm going to now jump on it. Because I'd much more sensible, sir. I'd much prefer a long chat to a short one.
I'm glad. Well, in fact, now, I brought you this book on astrology.
Oh, goodness me. Oh, thank you very much, sir.
Hello, Mr. Robinson.
This is Trevor Galbraith, the new local. And this is Mr. Robinson with the dress. Laura?
Yes, it is finished. It's just right.
Oh,
Ready.
good.
As a matter of fact, we were just talking
No,
about...
dear, we had finished talking about that. Would you like a drink?
Thank you.
Yes, good.
Do you live in this, do you work in this area?
No, in the city.
Oh, the city. Is there much demand there? Well, come to think of it, I did see a dress shop in Cheapside once.
Did you? You're new here, Ronnie was telling me. Around here it's all cats and dogs and budgies. Not much scope for you here, is there?
He's a bit odd, so just keep chatting.
Has it affected your business since Minnie's went out?
He's very odd, isn't he? But he's nice. He's nice.
I've always been very interested in your sort of work. I suppose your biggest problem is foot and mouth.
He's extremely odd. Humour him.
Right. I suppose you could say, in a sense, that we've both taken the cloth.
Taken the cloth. Wonderful. There's the dress, sir. It's absolutely finished. Apart from the understay.
Mr. Robinson, before you came in, we were talking about, and it was very interesting because Trevor here is the new vicar.
Vet.
Vicar?
Vicar, I said vicar. I thought I said vicar.
Is that your dress?
What?
From your dress shop?
No, did I say dress? No, Mr. Robinson is the manager of the insurance company. I'm sorry. Goodness me, time is racing on, dear. We have to...
Yes, I think I'd better be going.
Yes.
Well, I can give you a lift. I'm going out to Parkwood.
How very kind. Goodbye.
Bye, Laura. Thank you, Ronnie.
I wouldn't have been any good at personnel anyway, dear.
I swear they'll put you away one of these days. What was it all about?
Yes, dear, what was it all about? What is it all about? Where are we going? Where are we going?
We're going to bed, dear.
Right.